News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Ricks. OPEC Plus members just held their monthly meeting today on oil supply, and the group announced it plans to stick with its first quarter production pause despite ongoing tensions between Saudi Arabia and Yemen. Members say it's still too early to assess the impact of the shock of the U.S.'s capture of Nicolás Maduro in Venezuela. We're learning more about how U.S. commandos snatched Nicolás Maduro from his home in Venezuela. Bloomberg reports aircraft launched from 20 different bases to neutralize Venezuela's air defenses. Then an Army Delta Force unit moved in to capture Maduro and his wife at a military base in Caracas. The entire operation took just 3 hours. The New York Times reports at least 40 people were killed. Venezuela's Supreme Court has since granted acting presidential powers to Maduro's vice president, Delcy Rodriguez. President Trump says U.S. oil producers could spend billions now in Venezuela. Here's Bloomberg's Ed Kalegi.
During a press conference Saturday at Mar-a-Lago, Trump described an ambitious vision to use U.S. financial resources and industry know-how to restore the South American nation's oil sector to its former glory. That kind of oil industry reconstruction would almost be without precedent, and Trump left many crucial questions unanswered. Ed Kalegi, Bloomberg Radio.
Hundreds of flights were canceled yesterday amid all the chaos in Venezuela, grounding passengers heading to and from the Caribbean. This woman in Boston says her family's flight to Aruba got scrapped.
You hop right back on the phone and start making new plans. Because it's either go home or we have the whole week off, we have warm clothes, we're not staying here.
The FAA reopened Caribbean airspace at midnight, but it could still take a while for flight schedules to get back to normal. Tuesday marks 5 years since the attack on the U.S. Capitol during the certification of President Trump's 2020 loss to former President Biden. Bloomberg's Nathan Hager has more from Washington.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says Democrats will mark the date with an event recounting their experiences that day and examining, quote, ongoing threats to free and fair elections. Last week, the House Judiciary Committee released the transcript and video of its closed-door deposition with former special counsel Jack Smith. He said some of President Trump's fellow Republicans were willing to cooperate with his investigation into the president's attempts to overturn the 2020 election. In Washington, I'm Nathan Hager, Bloomberg Radio.
Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia President Anna Paulson says modest additional interest rate cuts could be appropriate later in 2026 if the economy has a benign outlook. Paulson notes risks to the labor market remain elevated, but unemployment claims seem stable and the labor market is, quote, clearly bending and not breaking. Those comments were part of prepared remarks at an economic forum yesterday in Philadelphia. And we should hear from several more Fed speakers this week. Here's Bloomberg's Charlie Pellett.
Tuesday, Richmond Fed President Tom Barkin will speak on the economic outlook and monetary policy at an event hosted by the Greater Raleigh Chamber of Commerce. Wednesday, Fed Vice Chair for Supervision Michelle Bowman speaks at the Bank President's Seminar in Laguna Beach, California. And Friday, Minneapolis Fed President Neil Kashkari speaks at the Regional Economic Conditions Conference. In New York, Charlie Pellett, Bloomberg Radio.
There's also a big focus on jobs this week as we get a few reports on the labor market. Bloomberg's Andrew O'Day.
Readings include Wednesday's monthly tracker of private sector payroll growth from paycheck processor ADP, which is forecast to show a rather paltry gain of 45,000 jobs. Thursday's initial jobless claims report will likely show a bounce back for last week after falling below 200,000 Christmas week. Friday, the big one, December employment and unemployment. Bloomberg Economics expects December's non-farm payrolls figure to come in at 80,000 jobs created. Unemployment is forecast to remain at 4.6%. Andrew O'Day, Bloomberg Radio.
Israel's Tel Aviv Stock Exchange will start working on a new trading schedule this week to appeal to more international investors. It's operated Sunday through Thursday for years, but shifting now to Monday through Friday. And China's Shanghai has pledged to improve its business environment by streamlining government services and providing more support for foreign investment and expansions. The city released an action plan on its website this morning. It also includes cracking down on misinformation about companies during big events like IPOs. And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Ricks, and this is Bloomberg.